Hello friends, this video on alternating currents part 30 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. Please make sure that you have watched all the videos till part 29 before going ahead with part 30. So till now we were all talking about ideal transformer. When I was talking about the working of a transformer, I was only dealing with the ideal ones where I have not considered any energy loss anywhere. So I consider it to be the perfect picture. But now when you actually look at the real transformers, there are several areas where energy losses are incurred. So what are those energy losses which are seen in actual transformers? The first one which we see is the flux leakage. What do I mean by flux leakage? It means because of the air gaps between the primary coil and the secondary coil, what happens? The change of flux associated with the primary coil is not completely transferred to the secondary coil because some of it is lost in the air gaps, right? So that means the entire flux, change in flux is not getting transferred to the secondary coil, right? So that means the induced current in the secondary coil will also become lesser. So there is quite a considerable amount of loss which we are encountering here. So how can we prevent this? One way of preventing this is to wind the secondary coil over the primary coil. For example, if you look at this toroidal transformer cores, these are finding its application these days. These days people prefer toroidal transformer cores because in the toroidal cores, this is your primary coil. Let us suppose this is the primary coil and then you have the secondary coil wound above it. So then what happens? There is no air gaps as such because the entire thing is shielded. Because it is a toroidal, so it is circular, right? So the end to end it is completely locked. So the flux gets locked within the primary and the secondary coil, and then there is no scope of leakage due to air gaps as there are no air gaps present here. So usage of toroidal transformer cores are a good way of preventing flux leakage. Next is the resistance of the windings. As you saw, the primary coil, we talked about the primary coil where we have windings of some wire. Again, the secondary coil, we have winding of some wire. So these wires also will have some resistance, right? Now, these resistances will also affect the amount of current which is flowing through the circuit, right? So how can we reduce these resistances? We can reduce these resistances. Now, what does resistance depend upon? The resistance is directly proportional to the length of the wire and it is inversely proportional to the area of cross section. So if we increase the area of cross section of the wires, then the resistance will be considerably reduced. So one very good way of reducing the resistance of the wires is to increase the thickness of the wires. So the wires which are used for winding up the primary coil and the secondary coil, if they are taken as considerably thick wires, that means their cross-sectional area is more for thick wires, therefore their resistance will be less. Now if the resistance is less, then the amount of heat loss because of the wires, which is proportional to I square R, would also be less because the resistance is very minimal. So it is better, the lesser the resistance of the windings is, the better it is, right? The third one is the eddy currents. So as we talked, when we learned about eddy currents, we saw that what happens in the core, we have, other than the primary coil and the secondary coil, we have the magnetic material, that is the soft iron core. Now, what happens is the soft iron core also gets heated because of the magnetic flux which is getting produced. As a result, eddy currents are developed in the body of the soft iron core, right? So because of this eddy currents, what will happen? It might heat up the core to a very large extent and that might harm the transformer core, so which may directly affect the functioning of the transformer. So one very good way of preventing it is to use laminated cores. That means the metal core or the soft iron core which we use at the transformer center, all around it you have an insulated wiring, so that the eddy currents, even if the eddy currents get produced, because of the insulated covering, the eddy currents are not able to produce the heating effects. So once the heating effects are minimized, there will be no heating of the transformer core and you can prevent it from getting damaged. However, these days the toroidal transformer cores are preferred even over the laminated cores, because in toroidal cores you not only reduce the occurrence of eddy currents, you are also able to minimize the flux leakage. So the toroidal cores are more advantageous than your laminated cores. The next one is your hysteresis. As I mentioned before also, that hysteresis is nothing but the cycle of magnetization. That means the process through which a magnetic material goes in order to get magnetized. So there is an energy loss involved during magnetization of the material of the core. The material here is again the soft iron. So the prevention here is that we should always choose a material for which the hysteresis loss is minimum. That is why we are choosing it as soft iron, because if you look at any other permanent magnet, the area would be somewhat like this for permanent magnets. That is why you should always avoid any permanent magnet as a material for the core of the transformer. You should always choose a material for which the hysteresis loss is as minimum as possible. Right? So these are some of the energy losses which are encountered in actual transformers, and some of the ways I mentioned here are the preventions to it. So this is how we reach the end of the lesson. So what all we spoke about here was what is alternating current, what was the need of having alternating current, right? You understood that, right? Because with direct current, it was very difficult to transmit huge amount of current to over large distances. So that is where alternating current came into picture. What caused alternating current? The flow of electrons, of course, but the flow of electrons in a different way. That is flow of electrons in alternative directions, right? Now, we studied about different alternating circuits, starting with resistive, capacitive, inductive and LCR circuits. We studied the phenomenon of resonance, a very important application or the most important application of alternating current, that is transformers, without which alternating current doesn't make much sense in real life, and the working of transformers and pros and cons of it. So now when I reach towards the end of the lesson, we will solve some more problems on transformers. Thank you. Please visit examfear.com to watch free educational videos, try free online tests, get the best quality study materials, study from the best tutors and mentors, and much more. Thank you once again.